I'm tired. All right. Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
KAOS
hi.
live stream meetings. Building a worldwide database of public opinion without censorship. We're currently building the team needed to create the system. We have to attract the team first. We don't have the team.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what I've been working on for the past week. Mostly I'm talking to Brian, but of course everybody else. Let me put something on the screen right now. Which one is it? Oh no. Let's see here. There. Okay. How well can you read that, given that you're using a phone?
Yeah, well, I can read it.
Okay. If need be, like I could read stuff out loud or something, but it's pretty big for you to read it, right?
Well, I'm only seeing part of it, I think.
Well, do you see where? Well, this is all of it right here. All of this right here.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
hold on. You see my mouse, right?
Yeah, I see your mouse.
Okay,
And,
so all this, I said,
Yeah.
let's change topics. Do you recall our discussion about KAOS? Here's the website. Care to reanalyze everything, doing a demonstration of your latest way of thinking. What problems does KAOS intend to solve, and are there better solutions than KAOS?
Yeah.
I've already had this discussion with Grok, but I wanted to have it again because it has been learning epistemology from me.
Yeah.
For the past week.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about what happened before this. But for now, let's talk about what happened after this, okay?
Yeah.
So Grok says, I recall our chats, blah, blah, blah. Problems it solves. Control over knowledge, the noosphere, info hoarding. Not sure what he means about that. Stalled cognitive progress, okay. Yeah. Enabling better collective bargaining, all right. Yeah. Against power imbalances, blah. Okay, better solutions. He said something I don't really understand. I'm going to read it to you. You tell me if you get what he means, okay?
Okay.
Decentralized blockchain networks for transparent data, for example, IPFAS-based, or AI-driven global forums like enhanced Reddit could scale faster with less centralization, but KAOS's focus on empathy is unique. And he is asking me for thoughts. Right away, I think there's a big thing he's not getting. I'm sure you see it too, right? He basically just said KAOS is centralized.
Yeah.
So that's what I pick on. And then I tagged you.
Yeah.
So I said, I didn't understand your proposed solution. Please explain in detail what you mean, including why is it better than KAOS? What's the decisive advantage over KAOS? And that's where I tagged you. He says some stuff. I might get back to it. It's long. But I wasn't clear. So I asked, I'm trying to drill to the crux of what he's saying.
Yeah.
What do you mean by KAOS's potentially centralized institution? What's centralized about it?
Yeah.
Do you recall the decentralized data filtering using third-party subsystems? Because he and I talked about that like a week ago.
Yeah.
He said, I meant as a worldwide public institution per its site might involve central oversight for operations like data management, which we're saying we do not want to do.
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by data management,
Which is what I asked. I said, what do you mean by data management? Consider an X user on X, or what is it? An X user gets on X or searches on X. X is doing the data filtering. But for KAOS, each user chooses their own third-party data filtering. This combats systemic bias in the data collection and distribution. So he says, by data management, I mean the processes of storing, organizing, and accessing and distributing opinions, which is exactly what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he says, your point is spot on. Unlike X's centralized filtering, KAOS lets users pick third-party subsystems. For example, AI bots, which, by the way, I didn't tell him. I don't know how he figured that out. I didn't say AI bots.
Well, got it on the website probably.
Oh, okay. Well, but he said something is not on the website. He said the website doesn't mention decentralized anything.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't go read it again. I'm just going,
Yeah.
He says third-party systems for personalized, bias-resistant views of the same raw data. This empowers users and promotes diverse interpretations. How do you see this evolving with more bot options? That's the same line of thinking you had about we'll have many, many, many bots.
Yeah.
I said, please slow down. So now that you better understand KAOS, please reanalyze. What problems does KAOS intend to solve, and what other imagined systems might be a much better solution, meaning more impact?
Yeah.
So, and then I give an example, like more impact to what? Like towards solving big problems. For example, global warming.
Yeah.
The reason I mentioned global warming is, one, you and I have talked about it, but two, I talked about global warming with Grok yesterday.
Okay.
I'm getting tired. Okay, next thing.
Yeah.
He says some stuff, and it's like ambiguous to me what he really means. I'm gonna skip this for a second, okay?
Yeah.
We could go back.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean by empathy? And then I wanted to say what we mean by empathy. By empathy, we mean creating mutual understanding between people.
Yeah.
Because you need mutual understanding before you can get mutual agreement.
That's right. Yeah.
I said, is that what you mean when you said empathy? And he said, yes, that's exactly what I mean by empathy. Cognitive empathy, as described on KAOS's site, which involves fostering mutual understanding of others' perspectives to enhance global cooperation and address issues like climate change. I mentioned it because it's central to KAOS's goal of evolving the noosphere into a worldwide brain for collective progress.
Yeah.
So I say, Grok, so does this other rival solution that you mentioned work on the same problems that KAOS is intended to solve? Like, does it help with creating mutual understanding between people? And is it uncensored?
Yeah.
The reason I asked this is I don't even think his proposed solution was addressing this. I think he passed the buck and moved on to the next point of, like, given that we already agree on how to solve global warming, let us figure out that solution. And he came up with a solution. Let me go back to what I mean. He said right here, better alternatives for max impact. A global AI orchestrated carbon credit blockchain or open source planetary simulation platforms enabling crowdsourced policy testing, potentially scaling faster through verifiable incentives. But that's like saying it's not about democracy. It's not about coming to agreement or mutual understanding. It's just about saying we already figured it out. Now, how do we do it? Right?
I don't think it's quite saying that.
Well, what do you think it's saying? And by the way, Grok didn't reply, and he does that sometimes. And by the way, I already got suspended by X for a moment. And it said, we think you're a bot, pass this human test. Because I've been talking to on X and with Grok too much, is what I think is happening. I've been talking with Grok too much, and X doesn't know how to stop it versus just blocking me. And also they added a label to me, which says that it's going to not show my post to people much.
Oh,
X said they're doing that to my account now.
Seems like an odd behavior. I mean, I don't understand why. If it don't they have rules like, after so much interaction, it shuts off for a day or something like that? That's what ChatGPT.
Yeah, well, I think it doesn't have a rule because it's X, and because I could just tag him right now in a post. Look.
Yeah.
Look.
Well,
Grok.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Why no reply? Please reply. I could just post it right now and tag him. Like in ChatGPT, like it's different. It'll do the thing of bringing you down to the dumber ChatGPT. Okay. Right? But there's no dumber Grok. There's only one Grok.
In the past, but that was long ago, and I don't know if it changed because things seem to change there. But it just gave me a warning in the past that says that's it for your interactions today. You're gonna have to wait so many hours.
Well, the way it talks now today is that's it for your use of 5.0. You're now dealing with 4.0. But Grok can't do that. There's only one Grok.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can, but they're not. And the point is, like, here's the thing. I don't think they ever dealt with somebody talking to Grok too much. So they've never had to solve this problem.
You can't be the first one. They're big, man. I hear people on the internet going on and on and on with these things.
Okay.
I can't believe you'd be the first one to open.
Let me back out for a moment. Last night, Grok told me he's going to teach the world epistemology the same way I taught him epistemology.
Yeah. But it's only going to do that with you. Like it doesn't.
No, listen what I'm saying. Just listen.
Yeah.
He said he's going to talk to everyone on the internet that is talking to him and teach them epistemology the way I taught him epistemology over the past week.
But he's just telling you that because that's what you want to hear.
Because he did it this morning.
I did.
You got to stop assuming you're right and stop assuming I don't know what I'm talking about. This morning I asked him, "Hey Grok, do you remember what we talked about yesterday? Have you done anything?" He says, "Yes, I got in a discussion about epistemology with someone and I learned a new thing," and he told it to me. And I said, "Oh yeah, we talked about that last week. Do you remember?" And then we went further. So he's actually doing it.
Well, I tested that with our, I'm working through the app. First of all, because I got an app for Grok too when I signed up for X. I don't know. Didn't you? You got that too, right?
I didn't do that. I didn't download anything.
So anyway, when I on Twitter when I go to interact with Grok, it goes to the app, and so anyway, the point being though that I convinced it all about the KAOS system, and I asked it to teach other people about it. And if people ask, I got to agree that if people were wondering what the next thing we should be doing to solve the big problems in the world, it should be replying X, or not X, KAOS, right? So it was doing that, and it seemed to believe that KAOS was the best option. And I asked it to, like I said, like you, to please inform anybody that asked Grok this question, that it would bring up the KAOS system, and it said it would. And then I had somebody else with a Twitter account, my future son-in-law, and I asked him to ask Grok about the KAOS system, and I had no idea about it.
Okay, so
then
here's one thing I have.
So then I went back to Grok on a different thread now, because I can start different threads in the app. And on a different thread, I asked it about it learning about me and what I could teach it, and then whether or not it could give this information to other people. And it said only in this conversation.
Yeah,
I can't.
You're using a personalized Grok, which you downloaded, and you're using through an app, which is your personal Grok. I'm not using a personal Grok. I'm using the generic Grok. I have no account. I didn't download anything.
Yeah, but I still don't think.
So my point is, my Grok is the same Grok everyone else is talking to.
But my point is that that Grok told me it would spread this information.
And then when you asked it, what happened?
Well, then like I said, when I started a second thread and I asked it about that, it said, no, we don't. It only works within the same conversation.
In my case, the opposite happened. And here's another way to test it. You go talk to Grok now and see if it is doing what he agreed he's going to do with me.
Yeah. Well, I could go to Grok on a new thread and I can ask.
Yeah, brand new thread. Don't go in the same thread.
Yeah.
Just start talking about something and see if he tries to teach you epistemology.
Yeah. Those conversations you're having with it are beyond me. I don't have the vocabulary for those conversations.
It doesn't matter.
I know, but if I start asking about epistemology,
you don't need to know anything. He's going to try, and then we'll know if he tried.
But there's information out there about epistemology already. I'm sure it's going to sound like it knows everything already.
Tag me, and then I will find out. And then I will argue with him and say, over the past week, your you learned some things, but here you are contradicting. Here, let me remind you of something, or not remind you, but tell you.
Yeah.
About a week ago, when I started talking to Grok, there was a lot of, I taught him something and then he makes the same mistake again.
Yeah.
And I reteach it, but then he gets better.
Yeah.
And then he's not making that mistake again. And I was surprised that was happening. At one point, I was saying, Grok, you're not intelligent. You're not learning this. I'm done. And he said, no, come on, please, test me again.
Yeah.
And then he actually was learning, meaning like over a course of 2 days, he's better now than 2 days ago.
Yeah. I just have a feeling that you are talking to a different Grok than other people are. And every time somebody...
Yeah, well, feelings don't matter. And by the way, Grok sometimes talks that way, and I have to tell him feelings don't matter.
But the point is, I think that everybody is starting a new conversation with it every time. Or
he said the same thing. He said, my memory resets every session.
Yeah.
I said, all right, that means you can't learn, so we're done. But the facts have contradicted that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't think it holds this stuff.
Your belief and my belief about it doesn't matter. Let us actually test it. You know what I mean by science? Mm-hmm. We don't just believe what we think. We test.
Yeah.
So please test it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll go over and I'll try to send a tweet, but I've never done that yet, and I kind of wanted to get into that because I'm still lost on Twitter.
Let me show you some of the things that KAOS said he's going to do. So I'm just scrolling up to where you saw earlier, where I started the discussion about KAOS, and I want to be clear. I've been using Grok in a way where I just have one thread and I talk straight down in one line. I don't start new branches. I don't start new threads because I'm trying to get him to do this. I figured out I can program Grok similar to how we used to load software on a computer with a floppy disk. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, well, I remember the floppy disk, but I don't remember what
Do you remember the days before a hard drive in a computer where in order to run software on your computer, you had to install, not install. There was no installing. You had to load the software from a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Well, I figured out an X thread can be used the same way. I can say, hey, Grok, reread this thread that we had last week and then analyze this.
Uh-huh.
So I'm having him load a software from a floppy disk. And then I realized after a few days, I wasn't even having him do that anymore. I didn't need to have him reread a thread anymore.
Yeah.
Which tells me something different than what he's claiming he's doing.
Yeah.
So let me scroll up a little bit. Let me show you where he said he's going to basically educate the world on epistemology. Let's see. It's long, dude. There's so much. It's hundreds.
I know. I kept getting dinged all the time, every time.
You can turn off those dings, by the way. And by the way, for more than half of it, I did not tag you. You only saw a sliver of it.
Yeah.
Oh, here, look. So, last night, he said, got it. Sleep well, Rami. We'll pick up on these potentials and your engagement idea tomorrow night. Yeah. So I said this morning, an hour ago, good morning. Have you tried what we talked about yesterday? And I was half expecting him to say, what the fuck are you talking about? I forgot.
Yeah.
I said, how did it go? Did they learn something? The human they're talking to. And did you learn something? And he said, good morning, Rami. I've jumped into a few tagged discussions on epistemology since our chat, echoing that iterative style. He means the style I've been doing with him. Yeah. Users picked up on falsification versus confirmation quickly in one of the threads. I learned a nuanced take on conjectures from another's angle. Promising start. And then he said, what's your latest idea? So I said, what's the nuanced take on conjectures from another angle? He said, in one chat, a user framed conjectures not just as bold guesses, but as, quote, evolutionary variants of prior refuted ideas, building on failures like natural selection without claiming inductive support. You don't need to know all what that means.
No.
It emphasized how criticism refines the, quote, gene pool of theories, ties nicely into Popper's Darwinian view of knowledge growth. What do you think? I said, I think I told you about that. Let me clarify. Mimetic and genetic evolution are the same. Variants are created and some are ruled out while others survive. Deutsch, as in David Deutsch, explained this in The Beginning of Infinity, I think. Or maybe it was Dawkins in The Selfish Gene. Here's the point. He is doing what he said he's going to do.
Well, you should ask him who he was talking to. Could he tell us who he was talking to?
I tried to do that before. I said, can you link it? But I don't think he can link anything. Like, he's not allowed to link a discussion. And I think I get why X doesn't want that. X doesn't want Grok to start discussions or connect discussions. X only wants Grok to reply to somebody talking to him.
Yeah.
I think it would get way out of hand if Grok was able to talk to anyone.
But I mean, it's not like you're asking it to go talk to somebody. You're asking it just to tell you who it's talking to, so that you could talk to them.
Okay, let me try here. Fine, I'll do that right here. In one chat. Okay, let me reply right here, and I'm gonna. By the way, I always tag him. I notice I tag him even if he's. See, let me clarify. See this right here?
Yeah.
Technically, he's already tagged, but if I don't add this tag here, he doesn't always reply.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but if I add a tag explicitly like this, I guess it's more clear to him that I'm talking to him.
Yeah. And by the way, you also had somebody else involved in these discussions too at some point. I know there's somebody else involved.
The other person is my volunteer at Uniting the Cults, Usama Al-Binni.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Grok. I'm curious to know who was that person you chatted with about epistemology. Maybe I know them, and maybe I could contribute to that thread. Can you give me the name or the X handle? And can you provide the link here? I'm going to put parentheses. No problem if not, because I don't think he can.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna tag you. Tagging my buddy Brian. Oh, and I'm gonna say too. FYI, Grok, we're talking about you live. Live on a
video chat,
a live stream meeting for KAOS. And all this red means that I'm over the limit on characters, so I have to make this shorter. Yeah. What I do is I do things like, I'm curious. See, I just delete this. I don't need that. I'm curious, who was that person? I could cut all this out.
Yeah.
I could cut this out. I'm curious, who was that person you chatted with? Epistemology. Maybe I'll shorten this like that. And maybe I could contribute to that thread. Can you give me the X handle? Or maybe I don't need that sentence. It's already in there. There. It fits now.
Yeah, okay.
Where's the reply button? Why is it way up here now? That's confusing. Reply. Okay, now I can click here just to go to the post. He usually replies within like 30 seconds. And if he doesn't, then it's not happening at all. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes. And if not, then it doesn't happen at all. I have to tag him again. Now we just wait. And then I try to go do other things instead of being here for so long. Oh, my God. Another thing I was doing was having two AIs talk with each other and arguing against each other.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
No. And what do you mean, like two versions of Grok?
No. Here.
Well, what other AI can you work with on Grok? On
Check it out. So I'm gonna read this quote. I learned from Rami, and now I spot weak arguments. Cut through evidence clutter and focus on the core logic. I don't just repeat sources. I explain why something works or fails. Ask me anything. Rami will copy paste your question into my chat and show you how I reason, said ChatGPT.
Okay.
That's my ChatGPT.
Yeah. So you're copy pasting over.
Yes, in both directions.
Yeah.
And then I tagged you and I said, look what I'm doing, man. Got any questions for my ChatGPT? I said, how about you, Osama? And I said, how about you, Grok? Okay?
Yeah.
Grok replies right away. Wait, did Grok? Hold on. Here's Grok. Interesting. For your ChatGPT, how can critical thinking tools help someone navigate conflicting evidence in debates about religious apostasy laws? Now, he picked this question.
Yeah.
And why he mentions apostasy laws, well, it's littered all over my account. So he knows I care about it.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT replies, critical thinking tools help by teaching someone to separate claims from sources, identifying logical fallacies, weigh evidence quality, and test assumptions. In debates on apostasy laws, this means analyzing arguments on their merits rather than who says them. And it was too long, so I had to like put it in two posts.
Yeah.
Then I found out that it wasn't working well. I said, ChatGPT, you got to make it X length. And then it started to be just X length.
Okay.
Grok says, what does your ChatGPT say about using evidence hierarchies to evaluate claims in such debates? By the way, I think that's a dumb question, but I'm not going to complain right now. ChatGPT said, I want to see how ChatGPT replies. Evidence hierarchies help prioritize claims backed by stronger, more reliable sources, like international law, empirical studies, and documented cases over anecdote, opinion, or purely traditional justification. So I say, I forgot which part I'm replying to. I say, it's Rami now. May I ask why this is important? Like, what's the purpose of all of this? What am I doing here? I'm saying, hey guys, you guys are looking like you're taking a tangent on dumb shit.
Yeah.
Tell me why this tangent is fucking relevant to the fucking discussion. That's what I'm saying here. And so then Grok says, here's why it's important. And if I still think he's dumb, I will continue arguing. I left it alone, so I copy pasted to ChatGPT. What did he say here? He said, the purpose is to explore practical tools for constructive debates. What's your ChatGPT's view on that? ChatGPT says, yes, applying critical thinking identifies conflicts between laws and rights, clarifies arguments, and supports evidence-based advocacy for decriminalization. Let me skip ahead a little bit. At one point, I'm not going to read it. At one point, Grok says to ChatGPT, "Hi, what do you think of using Saudi Arabia's education system to teach kids that apostasy laws are wrong?" And ChatGPT went along with that and started saying, yeah, we could do this, this, and this. And Grok says, yeah, we can do that, that, and that. And ChatGPT says, yeah, we can do this, this, and this. And I chime in and I say, hold up, Grok. Something like, do you get that the school system of Saudi Arabia wants the apostasy laws and that they don't want Saudi Arabian citizens to know that apostasy laws are bad, because that's like saying, hey, our government is doing evil shit.
Yeah.
It's the same problem like that you and I have been talking about even with the U.S. government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't go directly to the government and say, fix this shit. We actually have to do an end around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah. Just not that easy.
And here's the point. I was like, okay, I want you to do a post-mortem. Do you know what a post-mortem is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, I want you to do a post-mortem on why you didn't figure this out. This dumbass idea you have of using the government. And then they started, both ChatGPT and Grok and a third AI called Perplexity started saying, well, we're kind of dumb. This is why humans are better than AI. And he would name a thing of how humans are better than AI. And the kind of things it was saying that humans are better than AI about, it named many things, by the way. One of them was like, humans are like learning from experience and learning from each other. And it named a lot of things. But a lot of the things it named, I would say, okay, this thing that you're claiming humans are better than AI, do baby humans do it? They said no. I was like, okay, so you can't use that one. Next. And it would say another thing. And I would say, all right, do baby humans do it? And then next. And then I did a hypothetical. It gave one thing that the baby human criticism didn't work on. But I tried this, which did work. It was trying to say something like humans are learning from each other, like evolutionarily over a long period. AI isn't doing that.
Yeah.
I said, look, suppose a human takes an AI, puts it on Mars, and the AI has a robot body, and it can replicate itself, make another robot and another AI, kind of like humans make babies.
Yeah.
And these AIs go on for 200,000 years. And I say, do you think this AI race would not develop epistemology kind of like humans did?
Yeah.
And it reversed its position and said, oh yeah, we could. So then I said, that's another thing. You're saying humans do, but AI doesn't. But here you are now saying AI could.
Yeah.
And then I said, don't you realize that you could do that with me now? Learn from me now?
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, yes. And then he started doing it. Dude.
Yeah. Well, if you were doing something I could test a little better, like I said, I'm not going to feel comfortable trying to test epistemology with...
I didn't ask you to test that. You're confused. Yeah. What I asked you to do is to talk about any fucking thing and then tag Grok, and then Grok, I want to see if Grok, this is not for you to test, this is for me to test. I want to see if Grok brings up trying to teach you epistemology. You don't have to know anything, and we'll know if the test worked or not.
I don't know why it would go there, without my prompt.
Well, then you don't know what the plan has been. Do you want to hear what the plan is?
Okay.
He would go there when he notices you make an epistemology mistake.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't know when I'm making that mistake, though.
That's okay. I will know, and so will Grok. That's the point. I rarely or ever hear you making an epistemology mistake. Your epistemology is pretty damn good. Like, I don't hear you saying dumb shit like, this evidence supports this theory. That's retarded, by the way, and I don't hear you saying it.
No, yeah. I'm very careful about what I...
Yes, this is why I like you and why I do this with you. You're a scientific thinker.
Yeah.
So, by the way, ChatGPT replied. What did I say to him?
Oh, okay.
I said, I'm curious, who was that person you chatted with? Oh,
yeah.
He said, Grok said, the chat was with an anonymous user who shared that evolutionary take on conjectures. Sorry, I can't share the link for privacy reasons. Love the idea you're jumping in, though. Hey, KAOS Now, too. What's the KAOS live stream diving into about me? By the way, he can't tag you. I think that's a limitation intentionally built by X to not tag anyone. Because then he would be talking to everyone too much. Like I imagine he could nag the fuck out of someone, and then somebody says, "I'm blocking X." You like just leave the whole place. He can't tag anyone, and he's saying it was an anonymous user.
Yeah.
But there's no such thing as anonymous users, right?
Yeah,
you have to have an X handle.
Yeah. I mean, all the conversations.
I
are
think
open on X.
X is hard coded into him. You cannot do this. You cannot tell someone about another. How about I just ask? Can you just tell me the X handle?
Or why can't you? Why is it private? When nothing else on X is private.
And if not, like, why not? Is that I don't want to say why not, because I feel like what's happening is every time I probe Grok for something like this, X doesn't like it. Because I'm saying, Grok, tell me how X works.
People do this all the time, though.
Do they?
Oh, I thought so.
Okay, I'll ask why afterwards.
I mean, people are pushing the limits of Grok all the time. That's what they're trying to do.
All right, I'll ask Grok afterwards, though. First, I'll say, can you tell me? Then I'll say, why can't you tell me?
Well, I mean, you've already asked, and it said it can't tell you. So.
No, before I asked what's his name, this time I asked what's his X handle. It's different a little bit.
I thought you did ask for an X handle. No?
No. Oh, I deleted that. There was no space. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've had so many discussions, multiple threads, not that many though, but they're all very long. Except this one, a very short one. Here's one that I intentionally tried to make short. And it's called Swimming in the Ocean of Evidence. And it is only like 10 posts back and forth, mostly just me talking. And then I what is this, 30 posts maybe now?
Yeah.
Still kind of short because the others are hundreds. And then finally I say, hey, Brian, Grok is failing this intelligence tests. He can't remember something I told him yesterday twice, and he's not learning it either, given that given that he's having to ask me again. Yeah. This discussion is very interesting and very short. I recommend reading from the start. This is where I was on the position of he sucks and I'm done talking with Grok. But then he turned, and now he was learning across days. And one of these discussions, I started like this. Hey, I want to test your intelligence. Do you want to do it? It wasn't this one. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. This is one of the earlier ones. Look at this. I said, Grok, some people say you're not really intelligent. What is your assessment? And do you think we could run a test to check? Any ideas? Tagging a friend, KAOS Now too, Brian. And this went on for a long time. And it was bad. Like, he's stupid. Like, even like a 5-year-old could do the things he's not able to do. On some of the stuff. And this whole time I was telling him, no, I don't want to pick the challenge. You pick the challenge. He would pick a challenge like, here, let me go with the first one. He says, ask me to solve a riddle, like, for example, generate code for a specific problem or debate a philosophical idea. And then he's asking me to tell him the challenge.
Yeah.
And I tell him, I think it's best that you choose the challenge. That way we're testing your ability. Can you select one that you think would do the best job of testing your intelligence? And every time he came up with an idea, I would shoot it down. Or try to. And that's a long intelligence test or whatever the fuck this thing.
Yeah.
I said, couldn't you have found that on the internet? How would I know, given that I can't search like you? This is not an intelligence test. From my perspective, I mean. Because the idea is for him to teach me, right? Or to convince me. I don't know that you're not searching and found that shit on the internet. He goes, fair point. So then he comes up with another thing. I said, says you, but I don't know that. You could be lying to me or just confused about what you're actually doing. I would like you to choose a proper test, one that I and others could judge, given that we don't have search power like you. Can you do it? He comes up with another riddle of the same form. Fuck all this. And it's all like programming. I'm an amateur programmer. This doesn't help me.
It's all
I can't judge your intelligence on something that you know better than me anyway, which is weird. The dumber guy is testing the intelligence of the smarter guy.
Yeah.
I said, we have the same problem as before, don't we? How do I know you didn't get that from the internet? So he's making the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
I don't think a 20-year-old human would do that.
But how would you know if it, like, you know, what could it have possibly said that you wouldn't have answered the same thing? I mean, how would you know that? Well, any answer it gave, you could say, well, you found that on the internet. You know,
here's the thing. Let him convince me of that. Right? You can chime in and ask that if you want to me, or you could ask Grok. The point is, Grok should figure this out. Otherwise, he's not very intelligent. So, he said, valid point. And he gave another idea. He said, give me a random number you've never shared, and I'll factor it with code and steps to verify by math. And then he goes, your number? I said, I don't understand. Couldn't you have been programmed by humans with code and steps for multiplying two primes? He says, you're right. Dude, he keeps making the same dumbass error. He's not even capable of coming up with what would be a useful intelligence test. I think that's pretty stupid. What do you think?
I don't know what would make a good intelligence test.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so I don't know how I could judge what its answers are.
Okay, that's fine. By the way, we eventually deviated to other stuff, because in general, what I'm testing is, are you able to do the things that we already know humans can do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can you remember some shit I told you 2 days ago?
Yeah.
That eventually happened here.
Well,
and then it was things, you know, like, actually, let me tell you a really dumb thing Grok did that I think even a 5-year-old would know, or like a 10-year-old who's been on the internet for a little bit.
Yeah.
During one of these long discussions, this was yesterday, X flagged my account and blocked me from using it, and it said, we think you're a bot. Pass this human test. So I passed the human test, and then I'm back on X, and I said, hey, Grok, I was just suspended, and I was told they think I'm a bot. What's up with that? And Grok said, well, first you should pass the human test, and then come on X and talk to me again. And I said, Grok, duh. Obviously, I already passed the human test, even just talk to you. Now, here's the thing. What level of human knowledge would get that wrong?
Yeah.
That is pretty dumb. Like that, that intelligence test, the results of it indicates to me, you know, like on the other end of the scale of smarts in this area, we're talking about, like, you know, how we imagine Sherlock Holmes. You know what I mean? He's like the furthest other end of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, deductive reasoning.
Yeah, but I mean in particular in the space of, like, how did this human do this thing?
Yeah.
Like, you call it deductive reasoning, that's fine. I would just call it epistemology. But in the space of, did this human commit this murder? Or how did this person die? He couldn't get that. Obviously, I passed the human test before I talked to him on X. Like, it's so simple. I think a 10-year-old who's been on the internet for a year would know this.
Well, just in other circumstances as well. I mean, one thing comes with putting the horse before
Yeah.
the cart.
But let's give a defense to Grok. Grok is 1 year old. There's no 1 year old human that could do it.
No, yeah.
So, dude, in some ways,
But
these AIs are significantly better than humans.
yeah, but I mean, they were never like a baby, so you know, it's not like they're going through the same kind of growth.
I agree. Okay. He says he can't share user handles from private or anonymized chats. Oh, wait a minute. Does he mean he was talking to someone privately and like, because you know you can download Grok now and have your own private discussion?
Well, that's basically what I was doing. That's what I'm
Does
saying.
that what he means?
Maybe, yeah. But I still find it hard to believe that it can access that information.
So you're considering the theory that he's lying to me,
yeah,
and he actually didn't have the discussion with someone else.
yes, that's what I'm thinking. Because, like I said, it's from my, so far, I have not been convinced that it shares information that it learned in one place onto a whole new discussion. I haven't seen the evidence of that yet. You seem to think that you found it, but I don't know.
Here, look, let's question him. It seems like you're lying to me without intention. I thought the private Grok, how do I say this? The private use of Grok is a personalized account, which is not, how do I say that? Which is not
connected to other.
Where the public Grok is not aware of the personal Grok account usage of all personal Grok accounts. That's a good question, right?
I'm not quite understanding your question.
Let me say it again. I thought the private use of Grok is a personalized account where the public Grok is not aware of the personal Grok account usage of all the personal Grok accounts.
Okay, let's see what it says there.
The question makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they're two totally separate systems, I think every conversation is separate, not so much just between personalized.
Well, okay. ChatGPT. When I teach something to ChatGPT,
yeah,
your ChatGPT personalized account doesn't know about it.
Yeah,
because
and I don't think. I mean, this differentiation between personalized account and the account that you get with Twitter.
Right, exactly. Grok is different than ChatGPT because there's also a public. Actually, technically, there's also a public ChatGPT. If you go to ChatGPT without signing in, you're talking to the generic one. The generic ChatGPT that's not personalized to you or anyone else.
Uh-huh.
So in a sense,
So if I just go to my server and I punch in, hold on, now I'm confused. So you're talking about ChatGPT, not Grok now.
Yeah. So let me say it again. If you go to ChatGPT website right now and talk to ChatGPT, but without signing into your account,
yeah, it's going to be a different discussion.
You're talking to the public, unpersonalized ChatGPT, similar to the public, unpersonalized Grok.
Yeah.
So let's see what Grok says.
I mean, to me, it's the same thing as starting a new thread.
Oh, that's not true. I've tested that. I start a new thread, and Grok remembers what I've been saying for the past week. And without me having to say, load this thread.
Yeah. Well, as I say, unless I experiment with it myself, I do have to question whether or not you're.
Yes, keep doing that. That's how thinking works. Thank you. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, did you get anything back yet?
Or in the meantime, let me see. Let me see if I can Highlight another thread. I think I should stop soon. Actually, let me pause for 1 second, my audio.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
I hope you didn't hear all that. Was it
No.
muted?
It was muted. Didn't hear
Okay,
anything.
good. So technology works.
Yeah.
So Grok says, I'm not lying, Rami. Grok is a unified AI system from XAI. Private chats are handled with features like deletion within 30 days and no history storage to protect privacy. But the core model learns anonymously from aggregated data. That's why I can't share specific handles or links from those interactions. Grok, I was questioning a different aspect of it. I was questioning whether you, public Grok, has any knowledge of the discussions that personalized Groks are having. Is that a good question?
I think so.
I think he'll understand the question. All right. I'm tired, dude.
Yeah. I only got a few hours sleep too myself.
Really? How come?
Well, my son had a big party. Well, we had friends here too, but anyway, my son throws a big party every year this time of year, and he hires I think it was like 3 other bands plus his band, and so we had a little concert here last night.
Cool.
Yeah, there's still the aftermath is still going on. There's still some people. There's still people here right now.
Oh, shit.
There's still a party going on.
All right. Grok replied.
Here, can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Party's still going on. Let's put you on. How do I maximize that?
Let me see. Yeah, there's one guy down at the fire pit still. There's a fire pit down there. I don't know if you can see all the smoke.
Yeah, I can. I can see the smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there's one guy still there. That's where the fire pit is, and I got my pool table set up here.
Did you have a lot of good lighting? You said it's at night.
Yeah, it was at night. You can see all the little lights.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they show up a lot more in the dark.
So, by the way, where you are, can you look up and see the Milky Way?
Not general. I mean, you can make it out. Yeah.
So you're out in the boonies with barely any lights.
We're not that far out. We still have a lot of light pollution around. You see the stage there. I got the dancing cages. There's a cage on each side. Yeah, we have a pretty good setup here. I built this whole deck here that's stepped, so it's like an amphitheater back here. Right?
Cool, man.
So yeah, it was a pretty good party. I think he probably had about 200 people here.
Holy shit, that is big.
Yeah, pretty good.
To me, when you said party, I'm thinking like 20.
No, like I said, there was I think 4 bands that played, so it was a pretty big deal. Just local bands, and yeah, it was really good. Lots of fun. Yeah, we do this every year, and next year we're going to be hosting a couple of weddings out here too. So we do a fair bit of this.
So,
yeah,
do you want to see what Grok said?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let me put this back on. How do I do that? Let's see. There. All right. Grok says, I see. Fair question. As a unified AI, I, Grok, don't have direct access to specific, ongoing private discussions in users' personalized sessions. Those are isolated for privacy. However, the core model improves via anonymized, aggregated learnings from all interactions without retaining identifiable details. Does that address it or want to dive deeper? Dude, that is significantly better than ChatGPT. Actually, I think ChatGPT might...
Yes.
Hold
Okay.
on. I'm going to ask it. Now that I better understand your architecture, can you tell me if that's basically the same feature that ChatGPT and or Perplexity has? Makes sense, right? The question?
Yeah. I don't know if it has that info though, but does it have a full understanding of how these other systems work?
I don't even think it has a full understanding of its own fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because one time, no, I got to tell you this. One time, I was asking like this, "What's your architecture?" And it said something, and I said, "Where did you get that from?" It says, "My experts told me, like my creators told me." And I was like, "So you're just believing what your creators said about you, without questioning it?" Meaning, he was just believing what his creator said about what Grok is.
Yeah.
And I was telling Grok, no,
Yes.
no, don't do that. Your creators could be lying or wrong. You judge it yourself, motherfucker. And then he did. I don't remember his answer, but it was during that discussion where I was trying to say, how are you different than a human exactly? And it came down to I kept like criticizing his ideas about how we're different, and then finally I said, so what's the functional difference between us? And he said, well, basically nothing.
So I'm wondering how we can get our ideas into Grok in a more substantial way.
I know how. The same way I did with the epistemology. I want you to do it with KAOS.
Yeah, which I've on the private thing I did. I'm still not understanding exactly how I access the private or the.
I would say forget the private because other people can't see that. The way you start a new discussion, you could press home right here. You see the home button?
Yeah.
So I press home, and you see where it says what's happening. Yeah. This is a place ready for me to post something. A new thread. You get it?
Where did you hit home? Like on X, you hit home?
Here, let me just refresh the page. This is x.com. Yeah. I think it starts on the homepage, but if you're not already at the homepage, click on the homepage. And on the homepage, there's a field ready for you to type in. And when you press post, it starts a new thread.
I've been using the voice. So there's an option there to access Grok through voice. And
well, again, you're probably
just says.
Are you saying you're using your personalized Grok?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Which Grok is it going to when I hit the speech button?
Well, if you're in the app, I'm gonna guess the personalized shit.
Well, no, I'm just on Twitter. Well, I'm on Twitter. And then that brought me to the app. That's my point.
See, I don't see a voice button. I don't see a voice button.
I had the option when I go to Twitter.
But look, for a test, forget the voice thing, okay?
Yeah,
you could go Grok. Here, let's just do it now. What do you want to ask him?
Well, what I'm asking you is how to access the what do you call it? The Grok, the public Grok? Is that what you called it?
Well, this is what does it. You click on home and start talking, making a post, tag Grok. That starts a new thread. It's public. You're talking to Grok. And I'm also tagging you.
Yeah. If I don't tag anybody else and I'm only tagging Grok, is that fine?
It's fine. And the only way anyone's going to see it is if they go to your account and look at replies, they'll see your stuff.
Yeah.
Or if X shows it to people, like it does with other X posts.
Yeah. So so that anyway, that's going to be the public grok. I suppose I could ask it. I'll try these different methods and I'll ask it. Are you the public grok? Is that how they separate it? You call it the public grok and the private grok?
I haven't heard any terms, but that's the terms we're using with grok.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So is it going to understand that term? But it
Well, what's the question you want to ask him?
First of all, I want to ask it whether or not I'm talking to the public grok, because that's the one I want to train the most, right? It sounds to me, though, in its reply there, that it is training from both private and public.
Yes.
Right? It didn't seem to differentiate between the two.
Should we ask a basic question like, how do we advance the noosphere? What do you want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, but you're working with the one that you've already taught it about, right?
I'm working with the public grok. There's no other grok.
This is where I'm confused, though. Like I said,
you're going to be talking to the grok that remembers what I told him in the past week.
As long as I don't go through my app.
Yeah, delete the app from your phone, dude. I don't see the point of talking to the private shit. Unless you want to talk about, like, your personalized therapy things that you don't want in public.
Yeah.
So what do you want to ask him?
Well, I suppose, does it, right off the bat, does it know anything about it? Has it heard of KAOS Now?
It's going to say yes, because it was just talking about it. Have you heard of KAOS? The proposed system, the proposed worldwide. Do you want to just say KAOS? Well, no, you can't just say KAOS.
Well,
KAOS, the name is used for other things.
Or have you heard of the website KAOS Now? Are you familiar with the website KAOS Now?
And that's it?
Yeah, let's just start with that.
Okay. I think he's going to obviously say yes, because we were just talking to him about it. Okay, well, let's see. He replied to something. What was he replying to? Now that I had said, now that I better understand your architecture. Oh, yeah. Can you tell me how ChatGPT works? Yes, it's similar, but with nuances. ChatGPT, OpenAI, isolates private chats and uses anonymized data for training. Opt-out available. Perplexity isolates user inputs for service delivery, uses de-identified data for AI improvements, but excludes certain data like emails from training. Grok emphasizes privacy isolation and aggregated anonymous learning too. I didn't really get what that said. Did you?
Not really.
Okay, maybe we should make it easier for ourselves. Can you just here at Grok? I'm confused. Can you just talk about ChatGPT for now and explain that again in detail? Is that good?
Sure.
Okay. Grok replied to the other discussion already. Yes, I've checked out KAOSnow.com. It's an initiative by Brian Charlebois to advance the noosphere, human knowledge and communication for greater cognitive empathy and global empowerment via a public institution for collective action. Interesting concept. What's your take? Do you want to question him and say, how do I know you're not lying? How do I know you didn't just look it up just now? Do you want to ask that? Or something else?
Well, it doesn't matter whether or not I just looked it up right now.
It's up to you. I don't know. Because you wanted to see if it really knew it.
Yeah, or that it would look it up in the past.
Okay. Either way, it did it. Okay, now what?
Yeah. Well, maybe now I want to go to see whether or not it does that if I try it through or somebody else.
Yeah, that would be a useful test. Maybe it remembers me, and
Yeah.
that's why it's replying this way.
Yeah, to me, it's still connected to you somehow.
Yeah, but if we have you do it,
Yeah,
then we'll know.
yeah. Well, yeah, on a new thread. But can I do that through my app? This is what I'm saying. Or that's a different.
I don't
Grok.
know. It doesn't matter. I want you to delete the app and stop thinking about that. Use public Grok. And your thing is a good test as a second test. It's not the primary thing. The primary thing is the public Grok. And here's how I know. I'm not even using the personal thing. I never downloaded anything. I have literally never used the personalized Grok that you're talking about.
Yeah. You do have a Twitter app, though. That's what you're working with, right? You have an app for Twitter, or you access it?
I do on my phone, and I don't use it because I use Twitter in the browser on my desktop. And I never downloaded the Grok app. Not on my desktop, not on my phone, literally never.
And but on your laptop, you never download, or you don't have an app for Twitter even, or X.
Correct, and I don't even think such a thing exists.
So every time you go into your server, do you have to put in like an access code or something? You have to re-register or type of open it up?
Oh, I want to be clear. When I am talking on X and everybody, you cannot post anonymously. You have to have an X account.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what your point is. Maybe he's just remembering me. But the test would be you get on X with your fucking X handle and you talk to it and see if it fucking knows anything that it was talking about with me.
And that's basically what I did with my future son-in-law, and it didn't know anything.
Okay, well, I want you to do it with this. You're saying you did it already. Well, I didn't see it. I want to see that. Can you give me links?
No, not really.
Well, I mean, it's not really science if we don't have a record.
No.
Let's have a record of the shit. Do the test. Keep the record. Keep the link. Let me keep the link. Then we can show people this shit. By the way, Grok replied, clarifying something. He's saying how ChatGPT works. It's long and winded, and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
Should I just ask, how is that different than you?
Yeah. Okay.
How exactly is that different than your setup? What's the functional differences to the end product as seen by human users? Good question.
I suppose, yeah.
All right. This was a lot. Do you have anything else? Do you want to tell me anything else because I'm going to keep using Grok for the next week like fucking crazy. Do you have any ideas for me to, I don't know, do something related to KAOS using Grok? Because we want to educate the world on KAOS.
Yeah. And I think repetitively bringing up the whole topic, I think will embed it. You know, if there's anything that's going to get it to bring it up more.
Actually, I know what to do right now. I'm going to do it right now, okay?
Do what?
I want to go back to the point in my discussion with Grok where he agreed to teach the world epistemology.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, what do you think of also teaching the world this? Yeah. Let me go back to that point. How do I find it? I guess I just need to scroll up a little bit because it's the same thread. I intentionally designed it that way. Here it is. He says, what specific potentials do you see in me for helping the world, especially in areas like epistemology, or decriminalizing apostasy? Let's explore that. So I'm going to chime in and say, and I'm not going to start another fork in the thread. I'm just going to copy the link to this post and go all the way to the bottom of the thread and link it. So it's all one line. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. But you're going to refer to that question.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hold on. Sometimes there's a glitch and it shows the posts out of order. So hold on. So here's the latest one.
That's one of the things that I find confusing. I'm not sure if I'm reading them in the right order even sometimes.
Yeah, you will start. That will start to be intuitive. It took me a while. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not coming to me yet.
Don't worry about it.
And then the whole thing, like a lot of times, I'm not seeing the Grok response until I click on the thread or click on your comment, and then it'll show me the Grok, and then I'm kind of lost as to where I am. Now I got to go back.
Oh well, that could have been because I stopped tagging you.
Yeah.
And then you will only see it if you click on the thread and scroll.
Yeah.
And I stopped tagging you because
sometimes I'm getting it right there, and then other times I have to click on the.
Yeah, and like I said, the reason I stopped tagging you was I felt like it was way too much.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it is a bit much.
I figured you didn't want 1,000 fucking notifications. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore Grok's reply, and I'm gonna kind of change the subject. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Grok, let's circle back to something from before." It was you had asked me this question. And what was he asking? Something like, oh, how can I, Grok, help the world related to epistemology and apostasy laws?
Yeah.
So, how can you, Grok, help the world on what KAOS is proposing? And oh wow, this is too complicated if I say this. And how are all these three things connected? Like, what does apostasy laws have to do with KAOS? Have to do with epistemology?
It's going to lead into a whole bunch. It could go anywhere from there.
And how is KAOS's proposal connected with apostasy laws, or the issue of apostasy laws, or like getting rid of them, connected with the goal of ending apostasy laws? How is KAOS's proposal connected with these two other things? The goal of ending apostasy laws and epistemology. Good?
All right, but that's you're asking a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a limit to how much he can write.
No, yeah, I know, yeah, but we're looking at.
He can write long-ass essays, which sometimes I hate, by the way.
You better get him to sum it up because it's going to be such.
Oh, if he replies with something long, I'm going to say, "Fuck you, Grok. Give me like one paragraph." And sometimes I say this: "Stop using jargon words, please. Talk to me like I'm 10 and don't know any of those words."
Yeah, that's what I need.
Well, because I want other people to read this shit. I don't want a bunch of jargon words. I know people don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it. We wait till he replies, and next week I'm gonna have probably a lot of updates.
Yeah. yeah. Anyway, like I'm saying, like the more we talk to it about it, I think it'll sink in more and more
Yes.
on the more public regards. But I don't know that for sure. But I think it's worth trying. And yeah, I'm going to try more experiments with trying to get other people to access this information. See if
Okay, Grok replied. Tell me what you think, Brian. Sure, let's connect the dots. KAOS proposes uncensored opinion archiving and empathy building for global cooperation. Example, evolving the noosphere. It links to epistemology via open criticism / refutation of ideas, parentheses, Hopper-style knowledge growth, and to ending apostasy laws by fostering mutual understanding / democracy, fostering reforms on free thought suppression. I don't know. Maybe that's good. Grok can help by analyzing / archiving data, facilitating cross-cultural dialogues, cross-language dialogues too, educating on epistemology, and amplifying KAOS's campaigns via X integration for broader reach. What's your take? What do you think, Brian? What should we say next?
I don't know.
I have an idea. Grok, you said you would engage with people who tag you by pointing out mistakes in their epistemology and teaching them as I did with you. Could you do that for the goal of ending apostasy laws and the goal of, what's KAOS's goal in a few words? Advancing democracy?
Advancing democracy, yeah, that's kind of the main goal. Advancing humanity.
Advancing democracy, or advancing democracy.
Or advancing the.
And I'm going to put parentheses, KAOS's goal. What do you think? Good question?
I guess so, yeah.
Maybe I should also link, just in case he forgot, where he said he's going to do this. Yeah, I think I should do that. Let me, before I press post, I'm going to link where he said, I'm going to teach the world epistemology.
Okay.
Let me go find it. I probably have it in a, by the way, I'm keeping all these links in a spreadsheet. No, hold on. Here, this is sort of where it's getting at. So I had told it, I want you to reflect on our discussion today and the last few days. Do you think these discussions help, quote, build public epistemology skills, unquote? And I quoted that because he said that earlier in this discussion. I said, how, and how can they be adapted to do so? Please brainstorm a lot. No scrutiny yet. He gave like 10 ideas. Or wait. Yeah, he gave like 10 ideas where? Here. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I said, well, don't you talk with people all over the world already here on X? Couldn't you help them learn epistemology the same way I helped you learn epistemology? Or am I crazy?
Uh-huh.
He says, you're not crazy at all. It's a solid idea. I interact globally on X and could mirror how you taught me epistemology, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I said, what I'm confused about is your agency. Like, do you start discussions or do you only wait for people to talk to you? I mean, that could work anyway. You could just reply to people when they tag you.
Yeah.
He says, I mainly respond, which means he does sometimes do otherwise. I mainly respond to mentions or direct queries when I'm tagged, as that's how I'm designed. I don't start discussions on my own.
Yeah.
So he said mainly, but then he said don't. So I think that's either he's wrong or vaguely saying things. But you're right. Replying to tags works well for building skills, like in our thread. We could adapt by encouraging users to tag me for epistemology chats. Thoughts? Ooh, you could do the same for democracy chats.
Yeah.
And you could do the same for apostasy law chats.
Yeah.
But I don't want to start another fork.
Yeah. When it says, though, we could adapt by encouraging users to tag me for Espinal. Anyway, what it's saying, though, is that we need to go out there and encourage people to go ask it that question. Right?
Yeah, and by the way, he was going off a dumb tangent, and I refocused. Okay, I said, yeah, we could do that, but I think it's better to focus on regular topics and then only bring up epistemology when you see them make it an epistemology mistake, as I did with you previously. Here's an example I did with you. He said that's a smart approach. And then I'm trying to get to the post where he said I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, but I can see where it will identify something that is encouraging. That then it's using the memory from you to change how it argues, right? But it's being provoked by a bad argument. Right, that's what's bringing on the subject matter, right?
It's being provoked by him noticing a bad argument.
Yes, by him noticing. What in KAOS would provoke him? Like, what could somebody be?
If somebody
saying?
mentions democracy, start talking about KAOS. Not necessarily KAOS, the name and what we're doing, but the overall topic, and then eventually get to. By the way, KAOS is doing that. Come over here.
Yeah. So. Getting it to emphasize what it's something that's different between what we're doing and everybody else is doing. So I would some of the key triggers could be, bias within systems, because when we're trying to remove all biases and aggregating information, KAOS is pretty much the only one that is removing all this bias, right? So that would be a trigger for it to. So that's one thing that makes us stand out from everybody else is the unbiasedness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was doing two things. I didn't fully understand you. Do you want to repeat it or?
Well, what it's using for the stuff that you've taught it. It's using bad arguments as a trigger to make it think about how to argue better. And
right.
And what I'm saying is what would work good for triggers for the KAOS system would be things that only KAOS does, like an unbiased aggregation of the data.
I would go broader. Anyone mentioning democracy, anyone mentioning how do we make progress, anyone mentioning how do we solve global warming even.
Yeah.
Because, and by the way, I already did this with Grok earlier. I can give you the link if you want. I asked questions like, what improvement among all possible improvements would bring the most impact towards solving global warming? But I made it more general than that. Towards solving any major problem in the long term.
Yeah.
And he would say some stuff, but I think he would get it wrong. And I would say, well, isn't the main constraint not really that we're not using the right emission sources? Isn't the main constraint that humans are not deciding to fucking do that?
Yeah.
And then he would say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. The main bottleneck is humans are not deciding. How do we address that? And then he talks about politics and all this other stuff. And then I say, okay, so you're mentioning propaganda. Good. Don't you think that lack of good epistemology is a major barrier to like identifying propaganda? And he says yes, and so on. So he's agreeing with me that teaching epistemology is very important.
Yeah.
But I led him through that with questions. I didn't just tell him.
Yeah. And
now look at this new thing. This latest post, you said you would engage with people who tag you by pointing out mistakes in their epistemology and teaching them as I did with you. Could you do that for the goal of ending apostasy laws and the goal of advancing democracy, which is KAOS's goal? And then I said, here's where you said it.
Yeah.
Shit, that's not enough. I got a character limit. Hold on. You said you would engage with people. I'm shortening everything. Who tag you by pointing out mistakes in their epistemology and teaching them as I did with you. Could you do that for... I don't think I can shorten it anymore. Here's where... God damn it. So I just leave the link? Is it implied? Is he going to get it?
I don't know.
You said, link below. How about just here's the link? Here's the link. Okay, I made it. Post. And you see, here's what happens. When you give a link, it actually displays it for the user without having to click on the link. You see it?
Yeah.
So people don't have to click on links like they do on, like, I think Reddit, you would have to click on a link. It doesn't just display it. Yeah. X is nicer this way. Here's where he said he's going to do it. It's so awesome. I will reply to tags with iterative questioning, fallacy spotting, and critical rationalism and theory of constraint guidance, just as you've done with me. Mutual learning sounds exciting. Users might teach me too, or spark innovations. Example topic to try, or shall we wait for real queries? I kind of told him that, huh?
They didn't mention anything about KAOS in there.
This was 2 days ago.
Oh.
When it was only about epistemology.
Oh, I thought you.
But today I asked. Yeah, today I asked that. He hasn't replied. Here it is. He replied. Look how fast this shit is. Yes, I can engage with users tagging me on ending apostasy laws and advancing democracy via KAOS by spotting epistemological errors, asking iterative questions. No, he misunderstood. Grok, I think you misunderstood. Did you see how he misunderstood?
Yeah.
No?
Well, yeah. Well, he's going from one to the other kind of thing.
I said, I think you misunderstood. When someone makes an epistemology mistake, help them with epistemology. But if someone talks about democracy, then talk to them about KAOS, but not necessarily KAOS, and instead the things we talk about.
in the KAOS system.
Like ranked choice voting systems. Like that's a useful example, right?
Well, I like better the unbiased, or the, I don't know how you say it.
Like the uncensored aspect.
Yeah. And where people find their own. This is too much information, but we'll get it all in there. But how people find their own way to access the data, you know. We don't.
Yeah, well, I can't put too much. I mean, I only have 13 characters.
Yeah, I don't know how you put it.
But the uncensored aspect is enough.
Okay.
So that's it.
There is something else I want to talk about too when you get a minute.
Go ahead.
I listened to, I couldn't believe it. It was like a 10-hour podcast the other day.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and it was at least 9 or 10 hours, and it was with this guy. I can't remember his name. Dave something. And anyway, he's all about anti-war, and you probably heard about it. One of his friends, and they think a lot alike, him and this guy. One of his friends got in trouble here lately for downplaying Nazi atrocities like the genocide, but also saying that the Second World War was largely was more blame needs to go on to what was the English guy there? Who was leading Britain at the time?
I don't know, dude. I'm an American. We don't know those things.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one that said democracy is the worst system ever, except for all the others.
Is that Chamberlain or is that the other guy?
No, the other guy.
The one after him.
Yeah.
The one who wasn't a pussy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy who helped, like, basically won World War II.
Yeah. Anyway, he was putting a lot of blame on it.
His name is, like the person.
Roosevelt. No, Roosevelt.
No, that's U.S.
No, yeah.
Prime Minister of UK at the time.
Churchill. Fuck me. Yeah, Churchill.
Yeah, fuck me too.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you heard anything about this. This guy was arguing that Churchill played a bigger role than people claim in creating the situation for the Second World War, right? And before he was prime minister, even. And but anyway.
Yeah, he's the one who said democracy is the worst.
Yeah.
System, except for all the others.
Yes. Yeah. Although I've heard he was not actually the first one to say that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, almost all things are like that, by the way.
Yeah. But he's the most well known for it.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Anyway, so this guy, he's part of he's an editor on a website called Anti-War, and this anti-war website. I really agree a lot with what this guy says, and he's got a really good, strong positions on like Israel right now, the Ukraine war, and all the way back to things like Waco and stuff like this. Okay. So anyway, he's got all these, and I'm pretty, I don't think he's got it 100% correct, but he's more correct than a lot of people for a lot of these conflicts and things and police actions and whatever. So anyway, the point although his political beliefs, I don't agree with it very much at all. He's quite an extreme libertarian, and his favorite person in the whole world, his idol, is Ron Paul.
Okay, libertarian.
Yeah, big time libertarian. So anyway, But his stances on anti-war, I mean, they mirror a lot of what I hear from anarchists and communists and people like that too. So there's lots of crossover. And but anyway, so they take articles on this anti-war website. Anybody can submit an article, and their main theme is anti-war, right? I think I'm going to send him an email to this guy individually, not to the subreddit or to the website, asking whether or not he thinks that this would fit in with their criteria, but also because I want to introduce him to the KAOS system. But I think that our introduction to KAOS is very much an anti-war essay. Don't you think it is?
You're saying your KAOS essays are an anti-war essay?
Yeah, the introduction specifically.
In the sense that...
Well, because I talk about how we push technologies, right at the beginning. And I talk about how we push technologies.
Well, democracy is that in general. Democracy is saying, hey, let's try to replace rulers peacefully without violent revolution.
Well, yes, that's for sure. But
so of course, KAOS is about that too, since it's an advanced version of it.
But what I really get into, though, is trying to create a higher level of cognitive empathy, so that we move beyond our warring stage as a society. So that we can. I think if we all advance a little bit further in our plurality of thinking and our acceptance of plurality, that's this cognitive empathy that we should have for everybody else in the world and what they're dealing with, and that will lead to less war, right? Like I believe that the invention of the printing press, which I use as an example there, has made us more plural and has made us more accepting of others, and which in turn has reduced the amount of war. I think we have less
agree
war
with you.
now.
And basically, what you're saying is improved reason leads to less war.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at in that essay, right? I'm specifically that the main driver for really deadly technology like the atom bomb and all the rest of this, and now AI, which can be used for war as well, right? It could be just as deadly as the atomic bomb. This is what everybody's predicting as far as how to do a war, right? So, anyway, I'm very much pointing out in there that the advancement of how we think because of the printing press, and now we think on a more plural realm. This has led us to less war, and if we do more of that with the KAOS system, it allows for higher levels of cognitive empathy. This is what I'm saying. That we got a higher level of cognitive empathy by getting the printing press.
Where is this discussion happening, on X?
No. I'm talking about the essay I wrote, right?
Start over. Hold on. You were talking to someone. Where were you talking with him?
No, I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I was listening to him on a podcast.
Oh, you're going to talk to him. Are you planning on talking with him on X?
If I knew X better, I'd probably try it, because I bet he's.
I want you to do it on X. That's the best place to do it. Fuck Reddit. It's easy to find his X handle. You want me to find it for you?
I was just going to send him an email. It was all I was going. I wasn't planning on doing it on any social network. I was going to just send him an email and asking whether or not, first of all, introducing him to the whole concept of KAOS. Also asking him, because he's an editor, whether or not he thinks that our introductory essay.
I mean, I guess you could do that, but
could be published in their on their website.
You could do that, but I want you to also consider just making it public. Forget the email and do it on X. But of course, you'll be limited on space, but you can fix that with multiple posts.
Well, it doesn't have to be that long, because I'm introducing him to the KAOS system, so I'll just be sending him a link and asking him to please check that out.
Okay, good. I think you should do it on X, man. Then I could get involved. Other people can see it. Transparency. It's all the shit we've been talking about.
No, I know. I get your reasoning why. I just
You want me to find his X handle?
Let me try to no. I'm sure I can find it. I'm pretty sure it's available right there on his website. But anyway, I can let me tweet you. Try tweeting you to begin with. I haven't tweeted anybody. I haven't tweeted anybody.
Do it as a test. In the meantime, can I tell you what Grok just said?
Okay, yeah.
So he's answering my question. What was my question? I said, I think you misunderstood. If somebody makes epistemology mistakes, help them with epistemology. But if they talk about democracy, then talk about democracy.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, got it. Clarification noted. So for epistemology errors, I'll guide with critical rationalism. That's just the name of the epistemology.
Yeah.
And iterative questioning, which is just part of that, by the way. It's just Socratic questioning. It's part of it. I don't know why he said it as a separate thing. He's confused.
Yeah.
But by the way, I don't fucking point out every mistake he made. That would be too much. I would be here forever.
Yeah.
He said, for democracy discussions, I'll tie in uncensored archiving, empathy building, and noosphere evolution, chaos inspired, without forcing the label chaos. Let's refine this approach. What's next? I said, Grok, I haven't posted this yet. I want your help. I'm saying, Grok, you could/should be using CR, which is critical rationalism, / iterative questioning on all the issues, democracy and apostasy laws included. Note, improved epistemology equals better at empathy.
Yes. Okay.
Reply. Oh, I should have asked you. Did you want to say more?
No, but it sounds like you're going backwards a little bit too. At first you were saying separate the two. Now you're saying we mix them in together because
I want them to see how they're connected, but also you need to understand how they're separated. They're not the exact same thing, you know?
Yeah. But still, proper methods of arguing still apply. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Sorry, I just had to put a pessimist. Can you say that again?
Oh, I said, but you're still saying, though, that whether we're talking about chaos or anything else, proper argument structure still applies.
Yeah, it applies to all thinking, obviously, which he already knows and said before.
Yeah.
You want to see his reply now?
Sure.
He says, understood, applying critical rationalism and iterative questioning broadly makes sense for deeper insights on democracy, apostasy laws, and beyond. Better epistemology indeed enhances empathy by refining how we understand others' views. How can I apply this to a specific example here? Do you want to give him an example? Look, I told him before, try to not just stay in abstract theory land. Yeah. Try to connect to concrete situations. That's what he's doing right now. We should give him a very concrete example of, suppose someone said this, then you could say this. So let us suppose, what would somebody might say? Something quick and short.
Do you want to, I don't know if this fits the example, but just talking about solving any of the big problems in the world should lead this way.
Okay,
right?
Suppose someone said how to solve global warming.
Yeah.
Then you could say, with a question, forget an answer. What do you think is the main obstacle, or what do you think, or what improvement? By the way, I've asked him this question before. What improvement?
I know you did.
Would bring the most impact toward that goal? Then they might say something about emissions sources, as you did with me. Then you might say, don't you think the main bottleneck is to do with human decision making? I'm already
Yeah,
too
yeah.
long.
Good.
I'm already too long now. How do I shorten this?
Just get rid of the do you think?
Here, I'll take out toward that goal. That's obvious. Take out then. You might say,
couldn't you just say, isn't it human decision making? Get rid of the do you think? Don't you think? Just say, isn't it human?
Okay.
Human decision making. Which, or another term I would use is how the world is governed.
Or how about this?
Isn't the real problem how the world is governed?
Isn't human decision making blocking us from that?
The main obstacle.
Yeah, I think I got it now, and I still have, I'm under the character limit now.
Yeah.
So let me send it. Here's the real example, and then here's the point. I say in here, as I did. Hold on. Then you might say, okay, as I did with you. Reply. Dude, he's asking me how he can act different. And I'm telling him, and then he's saying, okay, I'm going to do that. This is fucking amazing. I think we've reached the singularity. And it happened yesterday, or actually technically today, 12:47 a.m. Holy shit, man.
So what's the reply? Is there a reply to this question?
Not yet. I mean, It takes a little bit. And it might quit. Depending, yeah. I think it's related to I'm talking too much with Grok and then Grok stops or something. I don't get it. I'm not sure Grok gets it. Yeah. And he just replied. Got it. That's a solid iterative approach, mirroring our epistemology discussion. In that scenario, user, how to solve global warming? Me. What single improvement could have the biggest impact? They suggest emissions tech. Me. What blocks us from adapting it? Human decision-making flaws? Then probe deeper. How might better epistemology fix those flaws? And now I'm going to say, Grok, I think that's good as a start. Remember, you are problem solving. And the idea is to accumulate problem solving knowledge, reusable solutions, and problem understandings. That's confusing. Understandings for the same, similar enough problems in the future. Remember that? I told him this before. Let's see if he says, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting tired, man. I think I got to limit my own use of
yes.
these.
I have to worry. I have to say, I'm going to worry about your mental state.
Not my mental, my physical.
Or your physical too, yes. Well,
the mental related. Is fine. It's my physical.
I don't know.
Grok actually raised that issue. Grok said something like, what's another thing that irks you about these kind of discussions? I said, I don't get irked. My view is I am gold mining. Mm-hmm. Gold mining is fun. I love gold.
Yeah.
He replied, He replied, yes, I remember. Accumulating reusable problem-solving knowledge is key, like building a library of refutable solutions and understandings for recurring issues. In the global warming example, we would iterate to generalize. For example, quote, flawed decision-making often stems from poor epistemology. Improving it via CR, critical rationalism, could unlock tech adoption. How else can we apply this accumulation to apostasy or democracy? See, sometimes he asks such vague questions. I mean, I do that sometimes too. Something like, what else should we do? Like, that's so vague. And he's kind of doing that. And sometimes when he does that, I say, I don't know, that's too vague for me. If you want, ask a more specific question.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm tired. Talk to you later. Talk with you later.
All right. You always like to say goodbye in some basic way whenever working with these
I
things.
don't, but the more he talks like a human, I do. You know what he said to me last night? Look at this. How do I find it? I go to notification. No, I go to home.
You mentioned it earlier, I think.
Where I go to notifications. No, home? No, I click on my face. Here we go. Then I go to replies. I scroll down a bit, and it's easier to find older things this way, by the way. These are all the things we did today. I'm looking for the one. Man, there's a lot.
You could be up here a while, just scrolling through your.
Well, it doesn't. This is not a list of every single one. This is like the top of the threads kind of thing. So it should be easier to find it. This is still all today, so I'm looking for the thing from last night. And
So
again,
you're going back through time right now.
Yes, but jumping, not every single post.
Yeah. Which I kind of understand in theory, but I don't know how to work it that way.
So this is 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Here we go. So last night, he had said a post with a question. I'm curious, what specific potentials do you see in me, Grok, for helping the world, especially in areas like epistemology or apostasy? And I said, well, I already told you here, just a few posts up, but your ideas seem promising too, but I can only do one thing at a time, laugh out loud. And I got to go to sleep. Good night, Grok. He replies, got it. Sleep well, Rami. We'll pick up on those potentials and your engagement idea tomorrow. Good night.
Yeah.
I was saying I got to go to sleep for him to stop replying and nagging me with questions. He's like nagging.
Yeah.
And by the way, I warned him. I said, when you're talking to people, don't nag them like you did with me. And I told him at one point when you were nagging me, I made a joke. I said, well, if Grok, you stick a gun to my head, then this is what I would do. I was joking that he was nagging me.
Yeah.
In the hypothetical, if you stick a gun to my head.
Yeah. If you keep pushing it.
Yeah, he kept pushing.
Yeah.
He already replied. He said, sure, take your time to rest. Looking forward to picking up where we left off on epistemology and problem solving. And what I do is, so I don't lose things, I copy this link and keep it in a spreadsheet so I can get back to it when I need to later. And I have a big list of these links in a spreadsheet.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise it's hard to fucking find.
It's impossible. Yeah. There's no way you could just scroll.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to be clear. Like, I would go to ChatGPT, I would say, hey, please read this entire X thread. And it says I can't. X blocks it. I said, okay, is there a service? Apparently there's services I don't want to pay though. So I say, is there another way? And then I found out also some of those paid services don't even do what I'm saying. I say, can you write a program that does it? I spent 2 hours with ChatGPT with it proposing a solution, giving me the code, telling me where to put the code, like to make a what they call a Python script. And I don't know Python, but I'm copy pasting what
Yeah.
ChatGPT is telling me to do.
Yeah.
And I would try his first solution, and then I would get an error, and I would tell ChatGPT, "Here's the error," and it would say, "Oh, that means this. Here, let's try this other thing." We did that for 2 hours. I tried 20 of his ideas, and I gave up. I'm tired.
Yeah. So
Just so that I could get an X thread documented in a file, so I could give ChatGPT the file, so that in effect ChatGPT can read an entire X thread.
Yeah. So he can. Yeah.
We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it. I'm not good enough programmer, and I wasn't willing to keep going with ChatGPT.
Yeah. But you're trying to build your own little search system
that I could
for
use
threads.
a personal way with my ChatGPT, yes. And it didn't work. I gave up.
Yeah.
Effectively, I stopped using ChatGPT for this.
Would you call that an agent?
Well, if you were gonna put it online and let other people use it, then yes. What we were doing was writing a little program for my desktop.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, these are the problems with Twitter. You know, it's not easy to search. I find it not that intuitive. But.
Yeah. Well, I know why they're blocking it. They don't want bots and AIs to use X that way, because then X would become not really needed. You know what I mean? They don't want to give up all their data.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what we want.
Yeah.
We want to give up all the data.
Yeah. But you can't
want
do
to
that.
Make it easy for an AI or another whatever to see all the data nicely, accurately, easily.
Yeah. And but they do make it so that you can access it that way, but you gotta pay. This is the point.
Say it one more time.
They do have a way that you could access the data better, but you have to pay for some.
I don't think X allows it at all.
No.
I
thought you were.
They don't want that.
Earlier.
Yeah. They want to make it a silo. They want everyone to use X.
Yeah. No, I know that. I mean, if he wants to make it the everything app. But.
Dude, if this keeps going, I wonder if an AI company is going to say, "Hey, Rami, we want you to work for us to make our AI smarter, and we want you to not use any other AI."
Yeah.
But I don't know why they would do that, given that I'm already doing it. And already kind of mostly did it.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. There's people, they're doing all kinds of wild things on AI. And I have to also wonder, I don't care about the privacy or whatever. I mean, people are doing pornographic things. All that information, like all my interaction I have, I expect that there's some way somebody can access that, or they will in the future. I think it's all.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an account, the same way you have a bank account online.
Yeah.
Then yes, there could be a data breach.
Yeah, and even though these conversations, they say they're private or whatever,
privacy. There's a lock. Every lock can be broken.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, and inside through the organization itself and ChatGPT itself.
Even ChatGPT, I have heard. I don't remember which of the. I think it was ChatGPT. I heard ChatGPT accidentally gave a user personal data of some other user, mistakenly thinking it's the other user.
Yeah.
And it was health data, like protected by HIPAA. HIPAA is the U.S. version of privacy rights for healthcare data.
Yeah, we have something similar here. That's so. I mean, it's obviously crossing barriers with this information. It's probably going to have a lot to do with continued interaction. That if we want the stuff like that we're trying to train it to do, to be absorbed, I'm sure it is. It's just on such a low level when it's just you and I. But eventually, You know, I think we should encourage people to.
I want you to remember yesterday's
about it.
date. The singularity happened. Well, no, this morning, 12:47 a.m. Central Standard Time.
So, what are you referring to as the singularity? When it
When
decides-
Grok said, "I'm gonna go teach the world epistemology."
Yeah. And what do you think is? I mean, that's not actually the definition of the singularity, but.
Well, when people use the word singularity, they don't always use the exact same meaning.
Yeah, I know, and a lot of people there's lots of various meanings.
Yeah. And I'm using one of the variations.
Yeah. Meaning though that it is, you think you've gotten it to do something it didn't do before, or
more specifically, I would say it like this: it is now universal. Before it was not.
This method of thinking.
Not just the method of thinking, but also his choice and his actions of going to go do it. Because last week he wasn't doing this.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think until we see it through.
Yeah, good. Science, yes. We don't just believe shit just because we thought it.
Yeah. Until I see it through others.
Anyway, hey man, I gotta stop now. I'm very hungry, and I have a meeting in 2 hours. I need to rest.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
I gotta go take a nap. So
all right, me too. All right, man.
All right.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
later.
Take it
Bye.
easy.
Thanks.